Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant News, and the big talking point of the last few days has been Sentinels failing to qualify for North American Stage 2 through the first open qualifier. Former player Zombs, benched for cNed not too long ago, believes he has the solution to take this team back to the top, but the organisation might not be listening to his suggestions. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much also for 16,000 subscribers. I'm sure loads of you guys watching this right now aren't yet subscribed. If that's one of you, I would really appreciate it. First of all, this from the War I thought it was kind of crazy actually. When Valorant adds a replay viewer, I'll make content for it. That's kind of a crazy thing to me that the pros, still, if they want to like review VOD and stuff, they can't review it for like the enemy's POV. There is like no replay viewer. I don't know why it's taken so long. I know it took a long time in League of Legends as well for Riot to put this in, but like yeah, 2 years later, there's still no like kind of a demo viewer effectively as there is in Counter-Strike here in Valorant. So kind of surprising. Not really sure why that's the case. Hopefully it comes sooner rather than later because I'm sure it's frustrating to the pros as it is for would-be content creators. This also to mention because plenty have talked lately about agents and you know, whether some of them are getting nerfed or buffed appropriately. And as Keo says here from C9 Hot Take, instead of nerfing overused agents, the like of Jet and Chamber, we're not buffing underused agents instead. The likes of, you know, Phoenix of course, whereas the Phoenix buff, Yoru got buffed but still not necessarily too viable it seems in competitive play. But we will see how these kind of new nerfs and updates play out for Sova and Jet and the like when we actually will get back into action. I believe in the group stages of challenges, that's when this kind of new patch comes into effect. These you know, most recent updates have not been coming into effect yet for the upcoming qualifier that begins again tomorrow, the second one. So crazy how quick all this stuff turns around. This just to mention though, because of course Chamber, like big talk about him, like whether he should be nerfed significantly. Like this is the thing is Vanity's kind of confused. Why do they nerf what makes him a Sentinel, right? Because the rumor has it that they're nerfing him to get rid of like his second trap, so he only has one trap. But it's like at that point, like he's barely a Sentinel at all anymore, right? So definitely some strange discussions really going on as to why they're getting nerfed in the way that they are. But that's the thing. Jet and Chamber right now seem to be very strong indeed, pretty much used in most compositions. Maybe instead of nerfing them, you buff some other ones. It's an interesting point of view. This I did want to mention from Zellsis. We didn't get the chance to discuss this a few days ago, but of course Zellsis and the version 1 guys almost made it through all the way to of course the Challengers main event. They lost to Luminosity in their Decider series, and well, they lost 2-1 of course. Wardell filled in for the team. We believe, I'm guessing that Whippy is going to be back in this starting team for the second open qualifier in, well, beginning tomorrow. I guess Luminosity will maybe begin on the day after that just because they probably get another bye, so they'll probably start on the Friday. We'll actually have a look at the bracket here in a few minutes time. But after failing to qualify for the first time round, Zellsis actually stated that he's pretty much looking to bench himself from the team or step away briefly from the team after they qualify or after he's planning to qualify, which yeah, definitely interesting words to be honest. I'll share the clip for you guys here in a second. Effectively saying that, you know, for mental health reasons, you know, health is wealth and all that type of good stuff, he is probably looking to step away for a little bit and wants to compete most certainly, but doesn't really want to compete right now. And that's the thing, like if they lose Zellsis, even if they do qualify here for this kind of main event, it's going to be really tough for them to get back to that point because I think he's been such a crucial part of their team, to be honest, that if they do lose him, I'm not really sure who they're bringing in instead.
I already told the guys, I plan on playing this qualifier as best as I can. And then, nah, I'm not going to do content creation. I want to compete, just not right now. But yeah, I already told the guys, and they know. But yeah, that's my plan.
Some interesting words from Zellsis. Was a bit of a surprise to me, to be honest, but I'm sure it's, you know, getting a lot for these players at the moment, the way that, you know, this season has been working out for them. They had such a great run first time. They went 5-0 in their stage before failing to make it all the way to of course, the Masters event. And since then, it's been, well, a pretty tough time for them in the open qualifier, right? So maybe they'll make it through next time around. They're certainly up there as favourites to do so if Whippy does come back into the team. But yeah, if Zellsis steps away, he is going to be a tough figure to replace in this team, but hopefully everything works out for him, of course. And then he wants to come back to competing when the time is right. Let's dive into then the Sentinel situation. They, of course, lost against LG as well, as did version 1 2-1. They lost in the round before that version 1 played Luminosity, but again, they're out of the qualifier, onto the next one. Certainly they should still be favourites to make it through next time around, but there are some very good teams still in this qualifier for the second time, so they're going to have to win some pretty big series still, I imagine, against pretty good teams if they want to make it through. Certainly have the capability to do so, but right now people are saying, look, they're very much a shell of their former selves, and Zombs has put his thoughts on the line as to exactly why he thinks this might be the case. First of all, kind of joking around about the fact that when they originally got rid of Sinatraa, they got a bit worse. Now they've got rid of Zombs, they've got a little bit worse again, you could argue, right? That's kind of an interesting point, really, that they've made a couple of moves. Sinatraa has gone, of course, for reasons outside of their control, and then Zombs is gone and cNed comes through, and you know, I know ShahZaM was saying on stream that yes, they've only really had a week to practice, not that much time to get things together, which does make sense, but at the same time, if that is the case, then maybe you like don't make the change, right? You know what I mean? It's kind of an interesting one, and Zombs is that case. Since they got rid of me, the team got worse. That's kind of one part of the argument. The other part is, okay, the team actually, as it is right now, without a coach or an analyst, is really holding them back, and like some people have said, okay, like Sinatraa maybe reckons is that much of a big deal. And Zom says that with this team, the way it currently works, with his experience internally, that 100% the coach is necessary for this team. He actually says he knows a few guys that he wants to kind of recruit for the team, and he could give the ideas internally, but whether that actually gets executed is another matter. But he reckons the lack of a coach, the lack of an analyst is really holding this team back, the way it kind of operates in practice, and the fact that maybe ShahZaM just has to do absolutely everything as the IGL, but also VOD review and all this type of stuff that the coach can try and take care of, coming up with new strats. Like, none of that is really possible right now for the Sentinels guys. Zombs reckons that would be a huge step in the right direction. Without that, this team will certainly stagnate and stay where they are, and with that, he reckons they can still get back to being relatively easily the best team in North America.
Why do you think Sen fell off? That's a good question.
What are you talking about? They're winning.
Yeah, someone in chat's just like, why do you think Sen fell off?
From what?
I don't know.
What do you think, bro? What is the only thing that changed about their team?
They
No,
lost
you guys
Raucus.
were terrible with you too.
Yeah. Well, why didn't you guys just pay Raucus's buyout?
But has it not gotten worse? Like there's levels to it. Like first Sinatraa is not on the team and it got worse, and then now I'm not on the team and they're even worse.
Yeah, didn't you guys qualify straight to closed qualifiers when you were on the team?
Obviously, I'm the best player
Thanks
of
for
all
the 50
time.
bits. Like there's levels to this. Like each player they're slowly like removing, they're getting worse and worse.
Like
Ten needs Raucus, obviously.
Why you laugh? That's up, bro.
The coach makes legit zero difference.
Wait,
That's not
not
necessarily
not
true, but
true
not
at
in
all.
my
In
case.
this,
Coach in this
I'm gonna tell you, in this specific case of Sentinels right now, a coach would make all the difference.
Nah.
I will put my life that it will make all
Nah,
the
not a
difference with this
coach.
team.
Maybe
Yes,
like a manager.
yes,
Like
yeah, okay.
Like a player manager.
Yeah, that's actually like doing.
Accountability manager or something.
Yeah. If
said
it's like a drill
accountability
sergeant,
manager.
yeah.
Drill sergeant.
How about both, bro?
Does Sen Val roster really not want a coach, or is everyone assuming? Bro, honestly, like, I have so much I could say about that team and what's happening, and what I could literally fix that team so easy, and, like, I could tell you all the problems and, like, how you could fix it, like, so easily, but it's just, like, I feel like I just can't say that on stream. I think the team easily has potential to be the best team in the world, but they just have to do certain things. But I don't want to say what it is because it'll make them look bad. He said, I'll say it, don't worry. No, I would never coach. But I know really good staff. Like, I know multiple insane coaching staff that would just make the team, like, insane. Like, the team would be number one in NA again, like, instantly if they actually just took my suggestions and, like, forced staff upon the players. Like, I actually know really good people that would turn the team around instantly.
So we're now at the start of May, and it was back in March, on about the 15th of March, where ShahZaM said on stream that they've kind of found their new coach. Now, I'm pretty sure they maybe found a new coach. They, of course, were some words potentially with the organisation. The organisation they wanted to buy the coach out from then said, okay, well, actually, we want Sentinels to invest a lot of money. They couldn't come to an arrangement, therefore it didn't happen. But that's kind of the thing, like, Zombs might be making his thoughts be known and saying, okay, he knows a few guys, he reckons, in maybe North America or wherever, that could be great assets to Sentinels, and surely not all of them can be, like, incredibly expensive, right? So you'd think if the organisations listen to Zombs and says, okay, look, what do you have to say here? But again, been a very surprising couple of months for them, and it just seems like it's been a very much a downhill trajectory, that they've absolutely fallen off a cliff. So Zombs seems to know, like, he seems to believe that he knows what the solution is for this team, and he still believes that this team as it is can get back to being best team in North America, but you know, maybe even better than that, who knows? But like, as it is right now, even Tarek did his top 10 list the other day. He had Sentinels outside of the top 10 in North America, which is quite the statement. Like, it wasn't many months ago I remember talking about the fact that Cloud9 were now the new #1 team according to the rankings, and Sentinels had dropped down from #1, and now they're like not even in the top 10 in some people's consideration. And again, this also from Space thought was kind of interesting. How often teams, when they're in Dallas, Texas, guard a fair bit, complexity not that much, and then of course, well, not in Dallas, of course, the Sentinels, right? So not boot camping together. That was the big talk of a few days ago. Like, you know, kind of Tarek was questioning the commitment, the dedication from the team and the organization to not be boot camping in the same place and taking it as seriously as some other teams are, right? So definitely treat you as spectre on this. Did want to look at this as well real quick, of course, because this is well, the bracket going into the upcoming qualifier. Just want to make sure this is fully on screen kind of. So here we go. So again, like the big teams probably will get the buys here. So 100 Thieves get the buy. We've got NYFU get the buy. And Sentinels get this buy as well. So they will play probably the kind of winner of this bracket. So, you know, once again, it looks like this. But these are all the names just to look at, really. Like 4 teams qualified, of course, before. NRG, FaZe, Luminosity made it, as did TSM, of course. And these are all the other teams that are still in the mix. And only 4 of these teams qualify. So even excluding all the teams that are down here, out of the big names, we've still got 100 Thieves. We've got NYFU, that being the York Fury. GenG are here as well. Saw are here, of course. Sentinels in the mix. A crew, once again, they played a crew. The Sentinels played a crew, so who knows what happens if they do end up rematching, which I think is possible based on the way this bracket is looking right now. Built by gamers are here. Complexity, of course, version 1. Trying to make it happen before maybe Zellsis steps away. And as we continue nearest airport, of course, a team that's definitely got the potential to do it. Girl kisses as well. But again, Evil Geniuses, they, of course, get a bye after a decent result in the last qualifier. And I mean, Ghost Gaming as well. They can make a run. Knights, of course, they were in it last time. So, even without those 4 maybe best teams that qualified last week, there's still so many good teams that can make a run here. I managed to skip over T1 as well, that are all the way up here. So definitely tweeting your perspective on this, who's going to qualify. Sentinels are not going to have the easiest time, I think, looking at this bracket, especially if these stats continue. I thought was some interesting stats here from Weltis Games. Team defense round win rates by plant denial versus retake. So Sentinels only winning 43% of their defensive rounds, which is very low, to be honest, right? You compare this to a FaZe or an NRG or a TSM or version 1 or whatever, they're way in the 50%. Sentinels, despite being in a similar category, are way below 50% on their defense round winner. 43% is really low, especially their retake percentage. If you look at NRG, they're retaking 27% of the time the bomb is planted. Luminosity 22% of the time, version 1 20% of the time, Sentinels 12% of the time, way lower than the competition. Maybe just goes to show the setups, the kind of ideas, the communication, the coordination is just nowhere near where it needs to be for Sentinels, right? So this is really the key thing they have to turn around, because 43% defense win rate is not going to cut it this weekend. Speaking of some other stats from Willminder that certainly are the way to do it, this is Optic in Masters Reykjavik. Their win rate with a man advantage. I wonder what this looks like for Sentinels here, but I thought this is very impressive, actually, incredibly consistent. When Optic got into a 5 versus 4, they won it 73% of the time, 4 versus 3, 79% of the time, 3 versus 2, 80% of the time, and 2v1, 90% of the time. That's incredibly good. When you're in a 2v1 situation, to only get 1v2'd 10% of rounds is that is really quite something, right? So very impressive from Optic. Definitely some good stats to look at. And I thought this was a pretty funny clip as well to finish out the video. But very much intrigued to your perspective in the comment section below. Does Zombs have a point? Do Sentinels need to really talk to Zombs and say, okay, what do you think we should do? Because maybe he has a good idea. Or does this team just need to get a coach and go from there? Because seemingly something has clearly got to change. Maybe they can qualify regardless. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on the like button. Tell us your YouTube gods. This is a good video. I just like you should see it as well. And I've grown the competitive Valorant community. Thank you as always. Take care of yourselves. And I will see you next time.